A mysterious alien fungus turns people into emotionless beings through sleep, and a mother must protect her immune son while racing to find a cure. The story of the invasion begins with the space shuttle Patriot crashes back to Earth, scattering debris across the United States. But this isn't just another newsworthy disaster. Among the wreckage, scientists discover an alien life form, something fungus-like and unassuming but insidious. It spreads on contact, biding its time until the infected fall into REM sleep. The moment it seizes control, transforming them into emotionless carriers. Quietly and systematically, the world begins to change. Tucker Kaufman, a CDC director, is one of the first to come into contact with the organism while investigating the crash. His infection goes unnoticed at first, but he quickly becomes an agent for its spread. Tucker's ex-wife, Carol Bennell, played by Nicole Kidman, is a psychiatrist who begins to notice subtle yet disturbing changes around her. Patients describe loved ones acting strangely, as if their personalities have been stripped away. Her world feels off-kilter, but the true scope of the threat doesn't become clear until she begins to connect the dots. The first crack in normalcy appears during a routine session with a patient, Wendy Lenk, who insists her husband is no longer himself. Wendy's description strikes Carol as odd, but not necessarily alarming. However, the signs of something bigger emerge at a children's Halloween party, where Carol's young son, Oliver, and his friends discover a strange, alien-like organism. Around the same time, news reports about a rapidly spreading flu begin to dominate headlines. A sense of unease builds as Carol realizes the changes in people's behavior might not be unrelated to the so-called flu outbreak. Carol turns to her friend and confidant, Ben Driscoll, portrayed by Daniel Craig. Ben is skeptical at first but agrees to help investigate. They take the mysterious organism to a biologist, Dr. Stephen Galliano, whose findings are alarming. The spores from the organism don't just infect. They fundamentally alter the brain, but only after the host sleeps. Those infected lose their individuality and emotions, becoming part of a collective intent on spreading the contagion. The stakes are high. As more people succumb, the infection's reach grows exponentially. Meanwhile, Tucker is using his position at the CDC to accelerate the spread, disguising the spores as flu vaccines. Carol's growing suspicions reach a tipping point when a terrified woman runs through the streets screaming about an impending invasion, only to be struck by a car. Carol witnesses the scene, but is shaken by the indifference of the authorities, who dismiss the incident as inconsequential. Her attempts to report what she saw are met with apathy, deepening her sense that something is terribly wrong. At a social gathering hosted by one of Ben's friends, Carol engages in a chilling debate with a Russian ambassador, Yurish. He argues that humanity's capacity for violence and irrationality is intrinsic, suggesting that a world without conflict would strip people of their very humanity. His words linger in Carol's mind, taking on new significance as the situation escalates. Ben and Dr. Galliano work tirelessly to understand the spore's mechanics. They discover a sliver of hope. Individuals who have suffered certain brain-affecting illnesses, such as encephalitis or ADEM, are immune to the spores because their previous conditions prevent the organism from attaching to brain tissue. This revelation is personal for Carol, as her son Oliver had ADEM as a child, making him immune. Oliver's immunity could hold the key to a cure, but it also places him in danger as the infected, now a growing majority, seek to eliminate anyone who resists assimilation. Determined to protect her son, Carol embarks on a perilous mission. She decides to retrieve Oliver from his father, Tucker, who has fully embraced his role as an agent of the infection. The encounter is harrowing. Tucker tries to convince Carol of the infection's supposed benefits, claiming it eliminates violence and chaos, creating a utopia of emotionless order. When Carol resists, Tucker forcibly infects her by spurting saliva onto her face. Though infected, Carol fights to stay awake, knowing that sleep will seal her transformation. Desperation fuels Carol's every move as she races against time to rescue Oliver and find a way to stop the spread. She reunites with Ben, but their efforts are complicated when they witness Yorish's chilling transformation into one of the infected. The sight drives home the urgency of their mission, as the infection's reach seems unstoppable. Carol's journey takes her through a world unraveling. Entire cities fall under the infection's control, with the remaining uninfected humans hunted relentlessly. Carol navigates this dangerous landscape by posing as one of the infected, suppressing her emotions to blend in. Her resolve is tested at every turn, but she remains focused on her goal, saving Oliver and finding a cure. The tension reaches its peak when Carol tracks Oliver to the apartment of Tucker's mother, Joan. Pretending to be one of the infected, she manages to free her son, but their escape is far from smooth. Tucker and other infected pursue them relentlessly, cornering them in a pharmacy. There, Carol's ingenuity shines as she uses the environment to her advantage, striking Tucker and evading capture. Knowing that sleep is her enemy, she consumes a cocktail of pills to stay awake, clinging to consciousness through sheer willpower. The stakes rise further when Ben, once her closest ally, succumbs to the infection. His transformation is heartbreaking as he tries to persuade Carol to join the new society. He acknowledges that Oliver's immunity makes him a threat to their vision of a perfect world. Carol's refusal leads to a tense confrontation, where she must balance her personal feelings with the harsh reality of survival. She disables Ben and escapes with Oliver, narrowly avoiding capture by the infected masses. In a moment of cinematic intensity, Carol and Oliver are rescued by Dr. Galliano and an army helicopter just as the infected close in. The relief is palpable, but the fight isn't over. At the base outside Baltimore, scientists use Oliver's immunity to develop a vaccine, turning the tide against the alien invasion. The aftermath is bittersweet. The infected are cured, with no memory of their actions while under the spore's control. A year later, life appears normal. Carol and Ben, now married, navigate the complexities of a world that feels both familiar and changed.
Whoa, wait, don't all leave.
Before, hit the button with the word subscribe on it.
You're my subscriber?
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
See you soon!